What's up, everyone? Here, this is Kiana here, and we're gonna keep it fun and interesting. Here, we discuss so many different interesting topics, and right now, we're gonna talk about the David Beckham family drama that's been set off by his son, Brooklyn. I don't want to date myself, but this family, they're like football royalty, okay? Fashion icons, one of the most carefully curated celebrity families in the world. They got like a public, I want to say what they call publicists, image people on deck, on staff. So for decades, David and Victoria Beckham have sold the image of perfection, okay? Success, love, they're a tight knit family, and this image has been pristine clean, or so we thought. So, over the past few years, there have been, cracks that started to show. Some people notice, but the fans that have been following them throughout the years, they've been noticing, okay, there's a couple things to their image that's kind of showing. All right. So, from wedding drama to social media silence, today we're breaking down the Beckham family rift, okay? What caused it and why people think the family feud goes deeper than anyone wants to admit. So the Beckham family includes David and Victoria. They have 4 kids, Brooklyn, Romeo, Cruz, and Harper. I think Harper is the baby. So Brooklyn, the eldest, have always been on the spotlight. Okay, he's done modeling. His parents put him in photography, cooking, and of course, he's been in the spotlight for his relationships, right? So he had a relationship with Nicola Peltz in 2019. He had started dating her. She's actually an heiress. Her father's a billionaire. Fast forward to 2022, Brooklyn and Nicola get married in a very ultra luxury wedding in Palm Beach, Florida. And on the surface, it's like a fairy tale. And I remember they had a spread in the magazine over the wedding and all that stuff. It was just looking like, ooh, so good. But behind the scenes, that's when things started to fall apart. Okay. Yeah. The biggest red flag for fans came in one detail. So Nicola didn't wear the Victoria Beckham dress, wedding dress. So Victoria Beckham, she's posh spice, right? She went on to have this very successful fashion line where she designs bridal dresses or dresses for that sort. And Nicola, the time when it came to her son getting married, Nicola didn't want to wear a dress. So there was an issue right away with that. And instead, the dress that Nicola went with for her wedding was Valentino. And then, after rumors exploded that there was tension between Nicola and Victoria, in which reports were claiming that Nicola felt unsupported, she felt that, others felt like Victoria felt pushed aside during all the wedding planning and all that stuff. So both sides denied any feud, but the internet wasn't buying it, okay? Fans started noticing something else. Brooklyn stopped appearing with his family. No Mother's Day posts for Victoria, missed family birthdays, less interaction online. And then meanwhile, Brooklyn and Nicola start constantly posting each other. They're calling themselves best friends, each other's world. So he was basically withdrawing from the family. And that's when people realized, oh, this picture perfect family is not really picture perfect. So to many fans, it looked like Brooklyn had emotionally chosen a side, and that side wasn't with his parents. And this is where things got very controversial.
The wildest part about this Brooklyn Beckham thing for me is she danced very inappropriately on me in front of everyone at his wedding. What? What? Not only is your mum there waiting for you when it's your first dance with your now wife to dance with you and take that moment, but is she twerking on you? is Victoria Beckham throwing it back on her son? I'm upset. I'm trying to think how viciously my mum would have to thrust her body upon me for me to feel the need to do a public statement about what's going on. What? Am I just perverted? That has a weird sexual implication, doesn't it? She danced on me inappropriately. There's no two ways about that. Someone was was, grinding and bumping. What's going on? Deeply upset. I am perturbed by this information. However, if there's any video evidence from any guests at that wedding, post it to the internet with immediate effect, please. I need it.
Everyone is talking about the Beckham family drama, so let me catch you up on everything so you don't have to look anything up, okay? So, I'm talking about David and Victoria Beckham, Posh Spice and Bend It Like Beckham, iconic couple from the 90s. Yeah, so they had 4 kids, and one of them is causing some family drama by putting their business out on the internet, okay? This Monday, he on Instagram put out some slides of, really long, explaining the family drama, black background, white text. Pretty effective way to communicate, if you ask me. However, he was spilling their tea. And so what happened is that Brooklyn is married to this girl, Nicola Peltz. Ricola? You get it. It's the same thing. Whatever. So there was drama with their wedding, right? Because Victoria, it was rumored that they didn't get along quite well, but, nothing was ever confirmed. But at the wedding, apparently there was a lot of drama because, especially about the dress, Nicola was supposed to get her dress designed by Posh, Victoria Beckham's brand. And then all of a sudden they reportedly pulled out last minute, causing a stir. And oh no, she had to go with Valentino. How did she cope? I don't know. Poor thing. But she overcame that trauma, right? And they also reported that Victoria stole the first dance. Oh my gosh, I know, it was crazy. Instead of it being the bride and groom, that close family friend Mark Anthony sang to, she sang to Posh, the mom, and Brooklyn. And apparently Posh danced upon him very inappropriately. And I'm just gonna need whoever was there, release the tapes. Before we get the Epstein files, I bet we'll get that. You know what I mean? I digress. Point is that there was a lot of drama surrounding that, and he's putting it out there into the world. Yikes, right? But then the internet is always going to internet, right? And there's people that have been like, wait a minute, if she was supposed to get this dress from Posh, then why was she able to go to 2 trips to headquarters in Valentino and then also to go to 2 U.S. fittings? This stuff takes time, right? So there's stuff that's not adding up. There's a lot of people that are team Posh, and then there's a lot of people that are team Brooklyn, because boy moms are never going to meet the allegations, right? They're always going to be like the overbearing, never wanting to let a new woman in. But I don't know, man. This all seems pretty spicy tea, And I love nothing more than to be involved in other people's drama, especially when it doesn't involve me. You know what I mean? And just one more thing real quick. Yeah. Anyway, I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I will keep you updated on the latest Hollywood gossip. Thanks so much for listening. Let me know what you think below.
So you mean to tell me that this couple tried to steal the thunder at their son's wedding? Crazy, right? A little classic mother-in-law, a little bit jealous of that. Insane. Mind-blowing.
It's all going off in the Beckham household. Brooklyn Beckham, the son of Victoria Beckham and David Beckham, decided to wake up and block the entire family, which left a lot of people confused as to why would you block your entire family, including your little sister. Now, tensions in the family has been going on for a while now, and sources say it started from his 2002 wedding to Nicola Peltz. So, Mark Anthony, who is a friend of the Beckhams, offered to sing at the wedding as a gift. Before the song began, Mark asked Brooklyn to come on stage and then announced the most beautiful woman in the room tonight. Come on stage, Victoria Beckham. So this is where it began. Naturally, Nicola Peltz would feel some type of way because it's supposed to be her and her newly wedded husband, Brooklyn, dancing. They even allegedly had the plans set in place. So was this an inside job from Victoria Beckham? Who knows? But let me continue. The whole room was in utter silence when Victoria Beckham went up on stage. Guests were left in utter disgust when Victoria Beckham went on stage and, even worse, started to slow dance with her son. It was said on that night Nicola was left embarrassed and she left the room crying. She was bawling her eyes out, and anyone would understand. So now Nicola felt that Victoria done this on purpose because, like I said earlier, it was pre-planned. They already had it in place what was going to happen. Nicola and Brooklyn were supposed to have that dance, that special moment where it's just them two. But Victoria somehow had things changed. Now this is where a lot of the bad blood started. I feel that his father, David, tried to patch things up. You know, David Beckham's a very professional man. He does things with class. You know, he doesn't like problems and whatnot. He's a family man. But I also feel Nicola has got Brooklyn in a chokehold where what she says goes. And I believe she's saying stay far away from your family because they're no good. But they recently, you know, renewed their vows or whatever, and they seem to be happy, you know, living alone and having no interactions from the Beckhams. But let me know what you think.
I am in British people's business so bad. This whole Brooklyn Beckham versus his parents drama is so good. Let me explain what's going on really quickly because it is a lot. See, everybody thinks that it started on Monday when Brooklyn Beckham wrote a novel on his story. It really didn't start here, okay? And if you saw this and you're like, I'm not reading all that, that's fine. Okay, I'll break it down. Brooklyn Beckham is the son of renowned footballer David Beckham and former Spice Girl and supermodel Victoria Beckham. And Brooklyn is married to model Nicola Peltz. So rumors that there was some undisclosed beef happening in the Beckham family started last year. And David Beckham threw himself not one, not two, but 3 birthday parties, and his son, Brooklyn Beckham, and his wife were noticeably absent from all 3. There's also been long-standing rumors that Victoria hated Nicola, like it was this whole thing. But on Monday, Brooklyn Beckham decided to set the story straight. He uploaded a bunch of stories, with the first one saying, "I do not want to reconcile with my family." In his stories, he made some bold accusations. He gets super into him and Nicola's wedding, and he says that his mom canceled making Nicola's wedding dress in the 11th hour. And just genuine question for the British people, is this how we talk? 11th hour? I read that and I was like, what does that mean? He said that the night before his wedding, his family was telling him that Nicola is not blood, okay? She's not a part of the family. But most notably, and what everyone's talking about, is this part here where he said, "My mom hijacked the first dance with his wife and she started dancing super inappropriately with him, and all the guests at the wedding were like visibly uncomfortable." And when I tell you the internet took that and ran with it, like, I don't like AI, but these pictures are hilarious. I mean, obviously everybody wants to know, how was Victoria dancing at the wedding? Her wedding was a huge deal. It was covered by Vogue. Like, I know that there's a video somewhere and I need to see it. So I don't know how we're gonna make that happen, but we need to. While doing my sleuthing, I came across some more Beckham drama because sometime last year, Brooklyn's brother, Cruz Beckham, came out and said that Brooklyn blocked the entire family on everything. Brooklyn has 2 brothers, Cruz and Romeo. Now, Romeo was in this pretty well-known on and off again relationship with Mia Regan for about 5 years. Like, low-key a deep cut for me. I used to be so obsessed with her. In 2024, they like officially broke up, but over the years of their relationship, Mia had built a friendship with Nicola. In 2024, Mia posted this on IG. Nicola commented, "So beautiful, Mia, you know, pink heart, little sparkle." Again, this is after Mia and Romeo are no longer together. Literally 2 days later, Romeo posted an Instagram dump. Just look at what Cruz Beckham commented. Like, okay. Sorry, but that is like obviously shady. I'm seeing people compare what's happening with Brooklyn and Nicola to Prince Harry and Meghan. Now, I'm personally a little hesitant to do that because we all know why Meghan was treated the way she was. I don't think that Nicola is suffering from that same situation. Victoria and David haven't made any statements. Like, these are some pretty insane allegations, right? Like, I'd be surprised if they don't make a statement. I'll keep y'all posted though. I love this.
Oh, you know what everybody's talking about? They're talking about David and Victoria Beckham's family feud. So their oldest son, Brooklyn, is making it clear that he is choosing his wife, Nicola, over his mother. Now, Brooklyn posted a long rant on Instagram this week, putting his parents on blast for disrespecting his marriage. He claims that his mom was supposed to make Nicola's wedding dress, but she canceled at the last minute, which left the bride scrambling to find a replacement dress. And then when it was time for the first dance with his wife, his mama Victoria hijacked the dance floor and dance inappropriately with Brooklyn. So now Brooklyn says he has no interest in fixing his relationship with his parents. You know, and this is a bad thing. If what he says is true, it sounds like Victoria probably didn't like this girl from the jump. That's what it sounds like. But Victoria, you already had your moment to dance when you was a Spice Girl. You know, when your son gets married, you gotta step aside. You gotta let the bride have her moment. If you don't step back, moms, cautionary tale, this is what's gonna happen. They won't be coming to your house for Christmas, for all the holidays. Thanksgiving is gonna be over. FaceTime. The grandkids, you're not gonna get to see the grandkids until their voices change. Then they'll come over. And I know that as much as I wanna protect Jeffrey, I talk about it all the time. I know that when he gets with his wife, I am gonna have to take a step back, which will be so hard for me because I feel like there's so much that I gotta, catch her up on with my son. I gotta tell my daughter-in-law how my son likes his clothes washed. I gotta tell my daughter-in-law how he likes his oatmeal cooked. I gotta tell her when you make him a sandwich, you gotta cut the crust off the bread. I gotta tell her that. I gotta tell her when he's feeling down, just massage the back of his neck and he'll go calm. But here's the thing. I just don't want my daughter-in-law to ever look at me and say, Miss Shepherd, I know exactly what your son likes. That is the thing that is my biggest nightmare, that my daughter-in-law will say, I know exactly where he likes to be massaged to keep him calm, Miss Shepherd. Like, when I tell you, I will have to pluck my eyeballs out. So, Victoria, this happened because you did not take a step back. And I really hope that y'all can reconcile. Because one thing a daughter-in-law would do, she will make a man choose. And then you gonna always be on the losing end of the stick.
Hi everyone, I was a guest at Brooklyn Beckham's wedding, and I wanted to let you guys know what actually happened when him and his mother started dancing. Yes, the rumors are true. The dance was extremely uncomfortable, and it made me and a lot of people around me visibly freaked out. And basically what happened is Brooklyn was called up to the stage. His mother was already standing on the stage. He got called up, went up, was like, oh, I thought, like, he clearly was expecting to be dancing with his wife, but no, it was his mother. But he was like, all right, sure, like, we'll do like a mother-son dance. They started dancing, and immediately the song was super inappropriate. It wasn't like a slow, like, cute dance. It was like kind of like twerky, and that's exactly what happened. Victoria started like kind of twerking and grinding on Brooklyn, and then at one point she was going like this back and forth, and she took Brooklyn's head, like pressed his head to her chest, and then was going like this. It was super, super weird, inappropriate, and I don't honestly know what was going on there.
I just read Brooklyn Beckham's hit piece on his family from his Instagram story, and I have one thing to say. Boy moms are never beating the allegations. The most concerning part of all the concerning parts of what he had to say is when he accused his mother of not only trying to sabotage his wedding by agreeing to design a dress for his wife and then pulling the dress at the 11th hour. Imagine your dress being fucked up before your wedding. Just no. And on top of that, hijacking their very romantic first dance that they had planned for their wedding, and then having Mark Anthony call him on stage so his mom could do a sexy dance on him. He said his mom danced very inappropriately on him and embarrassed him in front of everyone and gave him anxiety. And here's my thing. A lot of people, there's two sides to every story, and there are. Look, I'm not in their family drama. I don't know these people at all. But kids don't just wake up one day and want to be estranged from their parents. I'm sorry. I always say this. If a kid is coming out and saying that their parents did this and this to them and they have to get estranged and they can't be around their family, I just don't think it's a benefit, especially with parents as rich and powerful as these, to distance yourself from these people. Especially since they could shut everything he has to say down in a moment with their teams, the PR teams they got. I mean, he mentioned it in his statement. They could shut him down in a second. He is benefiting nothing from distancing himself from them. I saw a lot of people slamming Victoria for her choice of dress at the wedding, saying it was too sexy because it's like this lacy slip dress situation. I disagree with that. I think people are reaching. I think women can wear whatever they want. I don't think that it's that weird. However, comma, if she did a sexy dance on him at the wedding as well, that makes it weird. He's making his mom sound like one of those boy moms that just doesn't want another woman to take her place. And they're like, we're a rich, powerful family. We get to pick your wife, which, I mean, we've seen this in history for years and years and years and years. Like, they didn't want him to marry this girl, and now they don't want him in the family. And I know he's not lying, because I really believe that part where he said he went all the way to London to visit his dad for his birthday, and they didn't want to hang out with him at all until they were at the party surrounded by cameras. And then his dad wanted to be around him. And then when he was like, I want to spend time with you, he was like, I'll spend time with you, but not that wife of yours. She's not coming. You never want to see a family split up, but if that's the healthiest thing for him.
Okay, so some fans believe that Brooklyn is being isolated by Nicola. Others think that Brooklyn is simply setting boundaries, okay, with a famously controlling family. I mean, for decades, the reason why, well, me personally, I haven't heard anything come out about Beckham except he had an affair that was going all over the place. Okay, so the affair was going on, and then I think that was it. But in terms of like his wife and children, everybody was like under wraps, and then this whole thing blows up. Now, so that means they've had a team that's been taking care of their image meticulously. Okay, so they've spent decades managing their brand, their image. Okay, so Nicola Peltz, she comes from serious money herself. Like I said at the beginning of the video, her father's a billionaire. So it's not like she comes from a poor family that this is all new for her. But she's interested in playing any of these rules. Okay, so that caused attention. So there was no cheating accusations. There was no explosive public fights. It was none of that. It was just distance. Okay. And, sometimes distance hurt more than the drama. Silence is very, very loud. So it's like a Cold War that was being played. And then this is why this scandal sort of hits different, because it's not about so much about cheating or a crime that was committed. It's more about something that was more relatable, like family expectations, control, dependence or independence, things like that. It was like, well, the Beckhams are so in control of Brooklyn's life, and he's trying to set boundaries, and they won't let him go. As a matter of fact, Victoria said, look, Brooklyn Beckham is the name I gave you, and I'm going to trademark that. So anything you'd use, anything with Beckham, including your own name, I am going to be the one that's got to co-sign anything. Basically, when she trademarked his name, anything he slaps on a product or whatever, it got to go through her, or she got to get a cut. I've never really seen a parent do something crazy like that, okay? So the thing is the family Beckham broken forever? Probably not. I mean, he was tired from his side of things, he was just tired of the control, and he wanted everybody to know out there that this is not the picture perfect family that you think it is, and they need to just, kind of like, hey, this is us. They're not perfect. They're actually very controlling. And then the whole trademark thing with her trying to, like Victoria trying to trademark her son's name, which I think is kind of bonkers, made everybody realize Brooklyn is right. This whole image is under tight control of the parents, and then he's a 26-year-old man who is now married, and they still are lashing out because not in the way that we think, but lashing out in like certain ways that like underhand ways, hey, I'm going to own your name, and you're not going to be able to do this, and if you got to see us somewhere, you got to come alone and don't bring your wife, and all this kinds of thing. Okay, so the thing is, a lot of people are like taking sides, but here's the thing. A lot of these famous families have whole staffs of image consultants and people, so you don't really know who they are. And here we are thinking that they're a picture perfect family. And then you got someone like Brooklyn that's like, no, we're not picture perfect, okay? We're not. And as a matter of fact, they've controlled me my whole life, tried to pick my occupations, do this, do that. And now they want to like control, like, whether they didn't like Nicola or whatever the issue was, they're now trying to tell me that I shouldn't come to anything having to do with the family and not bring her. Honestly, since he has married Nicola, it's his job right now that he's her husband to stand up for his wife, because that's the decision that he made. When they say the saying, blood is thicker than water, it's not the correct saying. What the saying is, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. He made a covenant with Nicholas, so he's standing up for his wife. So right now, that's a responsibility that I see that he's doing very well. Even if his family have a problem with her, he still set the boundary. Either he stands up for her and leaves that family alone, or else. And then, you know, sometimes you can also think from the parents' side of view here, they probably didn't mean it all that way. But even if people could take empathy with the parent side, right? But the mere fact that it came out that Victoria wanted to trademark his name didn't really look good for her. But since they're so worried about their image, and the Beckham family is now talked about, her songs that she was on with the Spice Girls is streaming, she could take advantage and put her dresses, maybe give a discount. You know, people will buy it. Whether it's negative or positive, the attention to the Beckham name or the Beckham brand, they can still capitalize off of it. Hey, it's how they take it. But yeah, it did kind of expose the Beckham family to be kind of narcissistic, if you have to go according to what Brooklyn was saying. And especially with the way that they behave, and especially with the fact that they didn't want his wife around whenever he comes around. That's the stipulation that they gave. That kind of showed that, hey, that wasn't correct on their part to do that, because he's already married to her, okay? Anyway, if you enjoyed this breakdown, please like the video, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you team Brooklyn? Are you team the Beckham parents? Do you think they're a little bit weird for even trademarking his name? I think at 26, he should be able to set boundaries. And even if they don't agree with his wife, but they should be able to be cordial. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. And until next video.